Okay, now that we heard from a woman, ew, yuck, let's hear about women from a man, very cool, definitely knows more than a woman, okay? Finally. I'm sorry to put you through that, okay? I'm sorry to put you through that gross video, okay? Where a
socialism means no house.
Woman was thinking for herself, what is this? Feminism has ruined society. Am I right, fellas? It's Jordan Peterson hour. Jordan Peterson describes women's hottest sexual fantasy.
Book called A Billion Wicked Thoughts. It was written by a bunch of engineers at Google, and they were looking at billions of billions of Google searches. And you know, there's no shortage of pornography on the internet, and there's much less by proportion than there was when the internet was first invented. And it's so interesting because it actually turned out that one of the things that drove the development of the internet and the technology was the proclivity of young men to search out sexually provocative images. That was what was at the forefront of the development of the nets.
No way, bro. You mean to tell me that the internet's for porn? What a brilliant revelation from the man, dude. He's just so fucking smart. I need to buy his book 11 times so I can give it to the 10 remaining friends I have who will probably also leave me. Just like my girlfriend. After I started talking about how women have a tendency to destroy because they're the dragon of chaos. The real problem, though, with women in society is that they never see the top of the hour ad break coming. I know my ad break debates have been really weak today. And I'm going to do better, and I'm sorry. But at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. And if you don't, then you're sexist. And we hate sexism here. Especially because all the women are subscribed. Do better, men. Men do better. I'm a misandrist now. Here's the 1 minute ad break. Also, you can subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime. Or for $5. Or if you get lucky and get a gifted sub. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Do better, men.
Extraordinarily interesting. They were motivated to use it for that purpose, and that provided the platform from which it emerged. Amazing. Anyways, the Google engineers looked at pornographic search processes and then segregated male.
This B-roll is so good. Like, that's the guy at Google looking at porn. Like a Jordan Peterson fan made this, right? A Jordan Peterson fan made this and he thought like this is a fire B-roll for, you know, a Google engineer looking up porn.
Pornographic search processes and then segregated male searches from female searches. And what
male
they found
searches? Male? Bro, learn how to fucking type, dog, before you... Oh my God. My man said male searches, bro. Like, you know, like the U.S. Postal Service, the post office. Fuck.
Male searched out images.
It's not porn.
No one considers that, you know, particularly interesting, but the female searched out literary representations of pornography. It was written. And so I can give you an example of that. If you know about Harlequin romances, does everybody still know about those? Anybody not know about those? Okay, well, they're mass market romances and of a very stereotypical type. And the original ones were pretty harmless in terms of no violence and no real sexual content. But that was 40 years ago, and they've differentiated tremendously, and now there's hardcore Harlequin romances. So they did a plot analysis of the typical pornographic female fantasy. Well, and it's so comical because engineers did this, and social scientists would never do this because they'd be probably too concerned about the ethics of it or some damn thing. But engineers, you know, they'll...
Engineers, unethical, which is a good thing. When I am conducting any kind of sociological research, I fucking hate ethics. I throw it to the side. I like when it's less ethical. Okay?
They'll just plow ahead with no concern whatsoever for such things, and they actually discover things that way. And so they discovered the basic plot of the female pornographic literary product, and they identified, so basically what happened was that a innocent, well-meaning, and attractive young woman...
For the record, this is precisely, like, this video captures exactly why Jordan Peterson was so fucking successful. Because if you've never encountered the humanities or a woman, you're probably in the STEM field as a guy, as a dude. Okay? So the first guy that comes into your life, like in a fatherly figure, and like describes even like a touch of humanities to you, you're like, whoa, oh, this guy's brilliant, while also feeding into your ego about how, as a STEM lord, you are incredibly intelligent and like way better than everybody else. That's precisely the reason why Jordan Peterson got away with speaking on things that he absolutely knows nothing about, okay? Just like take some fucking humanities courses, boys, okay? Please. Why are you roasting STEM lords? I grew up with one. The worst one, okay? He literally builds spaceships now, okay? That's like, there is not like a level above that in the STEM lord power hierarchy and the power rankings, okay? Anyway, let's continue.
Encounters a male who's a bit of a monster. And the monster, there's 5 types of classic male monster. For all you males who want to know, this is what you can become. Vampire, that's a good one. Werewolf, billionaire, pirate, and surgeon. I was reading this, it was just cracking me up. I thought, oh my God, really? Pirate, vampire? Oh, that explains it. What about all these damn vampire shows, right? They're so popular.
Why does he act like this is like newfound knowledge? He makes it seem like he dusted off the tomes in a fucking, you know, catacomb that he went into, and he's like, and there we found the ancient scriptures. It's like, bro, everyone has known this since like the beginning of young adult novels, okay? The first time someone fucking wrote a young adult novel, we were like, oh, this is what, okay, people eat this shit up. This is what people want. Got it. Like, oh, wow, people get horned up for vampires? That's crazy. Anyway.
They're online, they're so popular on Netflix. Oh yes, and then there's the werewolf. There's nothing sexier than a werewolf, apparently. But I mean, so there's predatory dominance that's implicit in that, right? With the billionaire, it's more abstract, but clearly that's an indication of very high success in the male dominance hierarchy. So, but there's this desire for aggression that's in that, a real aggression, right? And it's not surprising to me at all. It makes perfect sense. But the basic plot is that the woman is...
Wait, isn't it like half the time it's quite literally like Beauty and the Beast, which is exactly what Jordan Peterson loves, who he thinks is like the greatest fucking art ever created, because like art has to be close to the things that we see in the real world that are just in my narrow interpretation of the male-female dynamic, of course. He's just, maybe that's why he loves it, because it's like, it's always like a gnarly dude who is like a bit of a fuck up, and then he gets like saved by the woman. I'm confused by that. I mean, this is like, obviously these sorts of generalizations are fucking stupid, because like ultimately there are plenty of people that do not subscribe to this norm. But overall, if you were to just lose sight of that for a brief moment and look at it like what he has stated is not exactly new, I would go so far as to say it's cliche. You know what I mean? Yeah, emotionally incompetent man gets nurtured, and like through the feminine love, they become like a good boyfriend, husband, guy. I think. It's like a bit of forbidden love that turns into like a beautiful relationship. You know what I mean?
Encounters this mysterious,
yeah, I can fix him is the attitude.
And aggressive male and tames him. That's the female hero myth, as far as I can tell. It's Beauty and the Beast. And so it's because, well, there's no fun in taming someone who's already tame. And what makes you think you really want someone who's tame anyways? There's no interest in that. Plus, when chaos manifests itself, what makes you think that someone tame is going to be good for anything? And it's a real question. And so that aggression is absolutely vital. It's absolutely necessary. But because it's incredibly dangerous, which of course it is, it has to be civilized.
What the fuck? What does that even mean, bro? Incredibly dangerous? Does he think that vampires exist? Like, what's he trying to say right now? He's like, that chaos is incredibly dangerous because, you know, they suck your blood. These vampires, they come at night. They can't be around in the sun. Of course, some ancient literatures do state that vampires can be around in the sun. But when they are, their skin turns to diamond. These vampires, they're doing scary things.
And so what happens is that the archetypal female in these pornographic romances seduces and tames the aggressive male. And that's her encounter with chaos. Now it's more complicated. Of course, females, they're more complicated, and that's exactly how it is. And it's no wonder, because their lives are more complicated.
Wait, so what happened there? Like, that's it? Oh, that sucks. There was nothing there, dude. I really wish there was something there. What the fuck? Okay, let's sort by most popular. Jordan Peterson's life advice will leave you speechless. Facebook Metaverse, Joe Rogan. Jordan Peterson, the ideal woman in overcoming fear. Dude, I love Jordan Peterson talking about women. I can listen to him all day talk about women. It's great. It's just like, it's so obvious that he has like issues in his own personal life with his wife and his daughter. I mean, we know what Michaela Peterson is like, so let's be fucking real. Like, she is a product of that upbringing. It's like this Ouroboros, right? Jordan Peterson has like this distorted view on the world, and that level of development has absolutely ruined her daughter, Michaela Peterson, who I think is very cute, but, you know, let's be real. She tried to murder him numerous times over the course of the past couple of years, so not exactly great. She is quite literally, you can actually describe her as the Dragon of Chaos. Okay, if there's one person you can describe as the Dragon of Chaos, it's definitely, you know, your daughter that one, advocates for eating raw meat only, which is fucking very weird. And two, your daughter that almost murdered you because she wanted to go out to like a nightclub and gave you COVID when you were recovering from benzo addictions by doing experimental therapies that cause you to quit cold turkey, which can kill you, which is precisely why it's illegal to do in the United States of America and in numerous other European countries. That's why they had to go to fucking Europe. She also tried to kill him by putting him on the apple cider diet. Or sorry, the fucking you know, all meat diet, which you know, and then feeding him apple cider, which I believe almost killed him, if you guys recall that. What is this? Since Jordan Peterson is trending, it's the one.
Quick on.
Oh, this was pretty funny too. We'll watch it in a second. Anyway, let's watch this.
It's with our fantasy that we first meet the unknown, right? Well, look, say you're going out with a new person. It's like, what do?
I gotta pee. I'll be back.
Project a fantasy on them. And then you fall in love with the fantasy, and aren't you stupid? Because you're going to find out that the match between your damn fantasy and the actual person is tenuous at best. And so Jung would call that a projection of either the anima or the animus. You know, the anima is what a man projects onto a woman he finds desirable. It's like, oh, she's the perfect woman. It's like, well, how do you know that? You've like seen her for 4 seconds, you know, but it grips you. And the same thing happens in the opposite direction. And it's an action of instinct, you know, it's like you fall in love with the image. But interestingly enough, what you do in a relationship that works is that you actually, I think that what you see, it's a rough approximation, when you project the ideal and fall in love with it, you see what could be. It could be that, but it's going to take you a hell of a lot of work, because like you got no shortage of flaws, and the other person has no shortage of flaws, and so you're bringing your flaws together, and that's going to produce a lot of friction, and you're going to have to engage in a lot of dialogue before you approach that level of perfection again. But maybe you can do it, and then you get to live happily ever after. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Well, so the unconscious meets the unknown, and it meets it with imagination and fantasy and dream and art. That's how you take... See, you don't just go from what you don't know.
Who's he talking to? Bro, Murat straight up has a fucking electrical, like, saw, like a power tool, standing right outside my door. And I was like, bro, can you please get this out of here? I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to trip on this and fucking fall and, like, cut my foot off. And he's like, oh, dude, you're such a drama queen, dude. You were so dramatic. Like, oh, you're going to die. It's like, dude, it's quite literally an electrical saw power tool that is literally standing right outside my door on the ground. Like, it is not... He is OSHA Andy, bro. I swear to God, dude. Someone that works for OSHA would have an aneurysm if they saw the work conditions that Murat subjects himself to in the house. Mr. Good enough for government work. Anyway. Toxic femininity. Okay.
No, to fully articulated knowledge in one bloody leap. You can't do that. You have to extend pseudopods of fantasy and imagination into the unknown. That's kind of what theorizing is like, right? Even scientifically, you know, you don't know something scientifically, you generate a theory. Well, it's an imaginative representation that your unconscious is helping you generate. And so you meet the unknown with fantasy. That's what the unconscious is for. From the psychoanalytic perspective, that's what dreams do. And you can see why. You dream about the future. You know, it's like, well, what's the future going to be like? Well, you have a little imaginative story going on, and it's like, you don't really create it. It's sort of, you watch it unfold, you know.
I'm already bored. I can't do that. I just like, I'm canceling this one.
Men are, on average, more aggressive than women, or they're more physically aggressive. So among children, for example, boys are more likely to kick, hit, bite, and steal. And that's not a bad operationalization of aggression, let's say. And then if you look within boys, a small proportion of the boys are that way at 2. It gets controlled. And most aggressive kids are socialized by the time they're 4. And if they're not, you can't socialize them after that. That's also very interesting and rather disheartening.
I don't know if this is...
But women, girls, however, they are more aggressive than males if you measure aggression differently. They very interesting and rather disheartening. But women, girls, however, they are more aggressive than males if you measure aggression differently. They use reputation destruction. Physical aggression doesn't translate to social...
Wait, what the fuck? Bro, what the fuck is he saying? First of all, he's got to let the fucking Dragon of Chaos narrative stick, but that doesn't actually also work with, like, obviously men being destructive or engaging in, like, destructive behavior or whatever, right? So then he's like, well, women are destructive too, I promise. You don't understand. Women are also destructive, all right? They're just destructive in, like, a different way. You know, they're just destructive in social reputation wise. I've seen women throw hands, so that's a lie. I mean, yeah, women are for cancel culture. Fellas, cancel culture is womanly behavior.
social media. But reputation destruction, that translates to social media unbelievably well. So maybe it's time to have a little chat about toxic femininity.
Oh wow, he's turning it on the women, dude. Yeah, let's talk about toxic femininity. I love that. Any woman born after 1996 only know how to eat hot chip, be bisexual, lie, charge their phone, and cancel culture. That's true. It's true. Fellas, we know how this works. All women born after 96, all they know is be bisexual, eat hot chip, charge their phone, lie, and do cancel culture.